ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us on the news in Africa and the world. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, 2 attacks in the province of Ituri have killed at least 58 people, local officials said, blaming a notorious militia group. According to the provincial interior minister, many people have fled their homes after the massacre that killed 13 in Oromo territory in southern Ituri on Tuesday and another 35 on Thursday. Minister Ajo Gidi blamed the Allied Democratic Forces (ADF) fleeing military pressure in North Kivu province. According to local residents, the attack took place in a thick forested area, and in that a number of people were feared kidnapped. The Congolese army, supported by local people, are still searching for victims in the forest. The United Nations says violence attributed to the ADF has soared since the start of the year, following the launch of a large-scale army campaign to wipe it out. Mali's military junta have launched a 3-day national consultation that began this Thursday with political parties, unions and members of the civil society groups to outline a transition to a civilian government and ultimately elections. The talks mark the second round of discussions between officers who last month overthrew President Ibeka. Colonel Assimi Goïta, the head of the Mali's junta on Thursday, told political parties and civil society groups gathered in Bamako that everyone must put aside their differences to lay the foundations for a reformed Mali, founded on work, efficiency and social justice. The international and regional pressure for a quick transition is intended to avoid a protracted political crisis that could be taken advantage of by Mali's growing insurgents. The main opposition coalition, known as the M5, has also been in talks with the junta. Its leader, Imam Mahmoud Dicko, has urged them to find a solution and not to be part of the problem. About 500 people are partaking in the forum taking place at a conference center in the capital, Bamako. Algeria's parliament has adopted draft constitutional reforms, an initiative of President Abdelmadjid Tebboune aimed at responding to the demands of the country's Iraq protest movement. In a show of hand, the amended constitution was approved by 256 of the 462 members present in the People's National Assembly. The reforms will now be put to a referendum on November 1, the jubilee of the beginning of Algeria's struggle of independence from France. The authorities have promised the reforms will carry a radical change in the system of governance, prevent corruption, and set out social justice and press freedoms within the structure. The revision also set out to reinforce the principle of separation of powers, ethics in political life, and transparency in the management of public funds so as to spare the country any drift towards tyrannical despotism. Out of Africa, Lebanon's Beirut port has witnessed another fire outburst, triggering panic among residents traumatized by last month's massive explosion that killed and injured thousands of people. The blaze began in the shuttered duty-free zone of the port, prompting some residents to flee the city. To quench the flame, army helicopters dropped water as firefighters battled on the ground to bring the blaze under control. Officials have said no one had been injured, but the blaze strained nerves already on the edge in a nation struggling with a deep economic crisis after the civil war. According to the port director, the fire started in a warehouse where barrels of cooking oil were placed and later spread nearby to where tires were piled. There are speculations in Beirut that the fire could be an attempt to destroy evidence from the explosion last month that is blamed on government's negligence and mismanagement. The European Union is preparing for a no-deal Brexit after the UK rejected its ultimatum to drop plans to override key elements of the signed withdrawal agreement. Brussels warned it would take the UK to court if it moves ahead with the controversial bill it says will put the Northern Ireland peace deal at risk after emergency talks between Commission Vice President Maroš Šefčovič and Britain's Brexit Supremo Michael Gove. The EU said Britain's proposal had seriously damaged trust, which London must now take steps to re-establish. Michael Gove, Boris Johnson's most senior minister, said the UK had made it perfectly clear it will not withdraw the bill. The government says Parliament is sovereign and can pass laws which breach the UK's international treaty obligations. The UK has until the end of the month to withdraw the controversial measures from its draft bill, the European Commission said. And 9 people have died in Colombian capital Bogota and satellite city Soacha following violent overnight protests against police brutality as city authorities called on residents to stay indoors on Thursday evening. The demonstrators were protesting the death this week of law student Javier Ordonez in police custody. A widely shared video showed Ordonez being repeatedly shocked with a stun gun by police. According to authorities of Bogota, some 175 civilians and 147 police officers have been injured in the protest, while dozens of stations and public vehicles were damaged or set ablaze. The mayor of Bogota, Claudia Lopez, said people should return to their homes to ease tensions, though her calling seems futile. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to TBS Television on TV Mate. Do take care and stay safe.